my remote for my car did not work. And what I found was this clip that held the battery in place was completely loose from the motherboard, and the battery was no longer making contact. So what I did, as you can see, I resoldered the clip on there. There's 3 points. Right here, right there, and right there. We soldered that on there, and even made sure to heat up this side. You can see where the solder comes through the motherboard on the other side. That was one of the things wrong with this remote. After I reconnected the battery, 2 of the buttons worked. The trunk button and the emergency button, but the other buttons did not work. And what I figured out was the buttons were worn out. The graphite was worn off the buttons on the inside. And I'll show you how to repair that. As I showed you in the previous video, the remote did not work for the car. I've tried replacing the battery, and also I've tried cleaning off the buttons. Neither worked. I read about this on the internet. I'm going to try and video this. Try and get the camera just right. Alright. So I took a mechanical pencil and a file, and I used the file to scrape some of the number 2 lead on this plastic, just like that. Made a nice little pile of graphite. Then I took the pencil eraser and dabbed it up, and now I have the graphite on the back of the eraser. What I've done is taken the graphite and rubbed it on the buttons. You can see that I've done these 2 buttons, and they look shiny, and I'll clean that extra graphite out in a second. And these buttons look kind of dull because there's no graphite left on these buttons. They're just worn from over time. Actually, this remote, the emergency button still worked and the trunk button still worked, but these other buttons didn't, because they're the ones that got used all the time. But I'm going to go ahead and put some graphite on each one of these buttons. Pretty easy process. Hard to hold the camera and do this. See if I can get this laid out just right. Okay. It's not much to it. Just take that and put the eraser and twist it around. Now I'm going to set the camera down for a second. While I do these other buttons. Get a little more graphite on this eraser. I'm rubbing it into the button. And that's what's going to make. You can see now all the buttons have a nice shiny coating of graphite. I use the pencil to remove any excess on the buttons. Just knock it and then, you know, give it a blow. So this should correct the problem.